I would like to welcome one of ISPA's true partners to the stage, Colin McIlheney.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Ella. It's great to be here. When I arrived a couple of days ago at the hotel, I met a good friend from ISPA who had heard me talk to you all some years ago, and she said, "I hope you're not going to be Dr. Doom again this year." Well, I like to start every day with good news, and the good news is Dr. Doom is no longer required. The results for the industry this year are actually quite good, and I confidently expect next year to be able to report an even better picture. I realized after the opening session that I couldn't compete with Ella on the Air Miles front. So instead, my short presentation today has a musical theme. The key thing to understand about the work that we all do together is that it's actually a very long-running and long-standing relationship. It actually dates back to 1999. It's been said it's the only thing that's been going longer than the Eagles' Hell Freezes Over tour. So the jigsaw that I'm going to show you next well reflects how the ongoing relationship actually works. It actually means we can draw on all sorts of expertise, not just from obviously our own firm, but amongst the spa industry itself, including many of you in the audience who I've got to know well and have helped us over such a long period of time. So what is it that we actually do together? It may be surprising to a number of people in the audience how much collaboration there is between ourselves and the wider spa industry. This ranges from, I know many of you help us with the flagship State of the US Spa Industry study, right through to the much newer and much appreciated Consumer Snapshot program. I mentioned that we had support from many of you over a long period and would appeal from the stage today for even more participation in the annual study, as it can only be a continued success with your high level of engagement. So I want to spend a short time on the state of the industry. For those of you with long memories, cast your mind back to 1999, when we only had around 4,000 spas in total in the US, and then we embarked on a journey through to the boom years leading up to 2007. Then, to continue our musical theme, came Don Henley's The End of the Innocents. And in fact, I recall actually giving a workshop right here in Florida to the ISPA leadership team as Hurricane Ike roared in 2008. And I asked them, everyone, to summarize their views of the industry in a song title. The most popular at the time, I'm sure you're interested in that, was All Along the Watchtower, which, as many in the audience may know, begins with the words, "Is there any way out of here?" So it gives me real pleasure to report such a positive picture in 2012. You can all see that revenues for the industry are at an all-time record of close to $13.5 billion. This is a tremendous uplift. Profitability is on the upswing. There's a lot of confidence in the way ahead. Now, turning just to one of the most well-received recent innovations has been the Consumer Snapshot program. Now, just try saying that after a few cocktails. To date, we have surveyed 2,000 US consumers, and spa-goer incidence has been reported between 36% and 39%. Now, you can all calculate in the audience that still leaves millions of Americans who are a target audience for you. The next couple of slides highlight some key insights for the industry from those consumer studies. Volume 1 emphasized how important it was in a volume-driven recovery that we were seeing to actually get people through the door of the spas and to make sure you get the basics right, because the rewards have proved to be very tangible indeed. In Volume 2, we tackled what was to some the taboo topic of discounting or the D word. And contrary to what many marketing gurus you may hear on the Today Show say, the consumer actually does not view discounting as damaging to the brand. And in fact, it could be argued it has played a vital role in the recovery of the spa industry. Crucially, we found amongst the consumers that discounting meant different things to different people and also different things to different spas. So finally then, having begun with good news, I want to end with great news, making the transition from good to great. I'm sure everyone in the room will be very pleased to hear that Volume 3 of the consumer work will be starting up in early 2013. And we'll focus on the reasons that impact on spa attendance and non-attendance and really get into a good level of detail. On behalf of everyone in the hall here, I'd like to thank Ella and the ISPA leadership, and the Foundation for the amazing work that they do to actually keep this research going. Thank you. So I just want to end to say how enjoyable it's been to work with you all over such a long period, and I look forward to many more years together. In the words of my childhood idol growing up in Belfast, Von Morrison, I think by the time we all gather next year, I'll be able to say that we have travelled from the dark end of the street to the bright side of the road. Many thanks. Thank you. It gives me now great pleasure to introduce Anna Bjurstam. Anna is the owner and CEO of Raison d'Etre. Raison d'Etre has consulted to, set up, and run over 100 spas in more than 60 countries. Their work includes the creation of spas and spa brands for some of the world's leading hotel groups, including the Four Seasons. So please, give a warm welcome to Anna Bjurstam.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you? Awake? Great. Let's see if we can get my... Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, ISPA, for inviting me all the way from Sweden. And we're going to talk today about research. Myself and Mary Tabaki, we're in charge of the Global Spa and Wellness Summit as board members of the research and achieving that each year. And I'm going to present to you a super quick summary of the research, the latest one. And you better buckle up because this will be quick. So let's get started. We're going to talk about first fitness. Now, the doctor yesterday, he was talking about the body. Fitness is important. We're no longer only in spa, we are in wellness. So we need to know our fitness. We need to get on the bandwagon and understand what they are. And we have IDEA and Ursa to thank for that. So we've compiled some things about the research. Now let's look at what is the #1 booked activity in the world. It is personal training. It has been personal training for the past 6 years, and it's continuing to explode because our customers, our guests, they actually want to know, to have personalized wellness regimen for them when it comes to food, nutrition, fitness, spas, and the works. Now, an emerging trend is small group PT, where you have anything from 4 to 8 people and 1 PT. It lowers cost. It is fun, it gives you training buddies, and it increases energy. So that's something that's really on the rise and would fit pretty well in the US, I have to say. Now, if we look at group activities, the #1 book group activity is Pilates. And you might wonder, why is that? Because yoga, we're all talking about yoga. Now, this is in membership clubs, but if we look at yoga in general, we are seeing that yoga has been taken out of the membership clubs, and you have these yoga shalas with yoga experts. So it's very likely still the most booked group activity in the world, but not in membership clubs. So that's why it suits very well into spas. So what's on the way up? And that is back prevention. Very interesting is boot camp classes, indoor and outdoor. And you saw this yesterday, the doctor presented Ironman functional training, or whatever it was, and burpees, which is also very fun, but terribly tough thing to do, which I try to do every week. And branded choreography like Zumba, Pilates, and yoga fusions like Yoga Lattes, Garuda. Those are the things that are coming that we need to pick up on. Now, if we look at equipment, what's happening there? Well, we're seeing the balance equipment, functional, medicine balls, rowing machines. It's all about functional training. And it's not only the US, it's worldwide. We're seeing the same trends in Asia, Europe, Middle East, everywhere. It's about functional training. So, okay, if that's on the way up, what's on the way down? Let's look at that. I thought that with the functional training equipment coming in, that something have to go, and it would be strength equipment. That's not so. It's the cardio equipment that's actually leaving the gyms today. And if you're still having a spa with a gym, and you still have cardio machine and weight training and nothing else, you need to get on the bandwagon and look at the functional training equipment. You don't need a lot of space, but you need to provide it for your guests because that's what they were gonna have, And if you look at group training activities, it's the aerobic and step. Interesting is senior classes because we're all about that all the elderly people or older people, they need to have wellness. So the reason why this is, I don't know, but it is kind of taking its way step out of the clubs. The same with weight management classes, which might be a bit surprising from all that we've heard about the situation of obesity. But that's, again, similar to yoga, where you have specialized weight management clubs which include nutrition and training and everything. That's outside the membership club gyms, so that's not included in the research. So weight management might still be extremely popular. The fitness industry is a US $71 billion market. It's larger than the spa industry, and there's all the time new, innovative things. I myself had the pure pleasure of enjoying a stiletto strength class, yes, at Madonna's Hard Candy Club in Moscow earlier this year with Anne McCall-Wilson from Fairmont. She's not here, so, but it was fun. And it was packed, it was tough, I learned a lot, and that's all what we're about. And it was a really good class that I can, maybe you should start that in your clubs. Now, the 10 top countries in the world counts for 80% of the fitness revenue today, and you'll see them behind me here. And if we look at the continents, Europe is the largest continent, but I took the liberty to divide revenue per member. And what's interesting is that in the US, you have to work almost twice as hard than anywhere else in the world because you need 2 members to get the same revenue as they get in Asia and almost most in the world. So that's quite interesting. And if we go further, and that was all concluding fitness, we're going to talk a little bit about Euromonitor. And they were kind enough to do a customized report for this year's Global Spa and Wellness Summit that was in Aspen earlier the year. And this is also something really interesting with the terms of wellness for the spa industry. It is the health and wellness packaged food and beverage, $628 billion market. That's 10 times the spa industry. And when I go around spas, I don't see that we're doing that really well. And this is a retail opportunity for us. Now, what is it? Well, if you look at, it's beauty from within. So NutriCosmetics, I saw T4 down on the floor yesterday. They have white tea for radiant skin. So it's not only the outer beauty, but it's the inner. You have cosmeceuticals where you take a pill for stronger hair, better nails, brighter skin. This is also things that we can tap into because it's large. And what we're seeing, it's derived from a culture belief. It's not disposable income. So Japan, China, France, Italy, they are the big consumers, but it is spreading like wildfire, and it's something that we also should tap into. Now, what, in terms of skincare, what do we want to hear as customers? We want to know benefits. Yes, ingredients are important, but what's in it for me? Also, if you want to sell, anti-aging and organic are the words to use. So if you can communicate, and that's the same thing when it comes to treatments. If you can communicate the benefit, that's what sells, because people are much more result-oriented today. If we go quickly, are you still here? we go quickly into the next research, and all of this research is downloadable for everyone. It's free, all of this on the GSWS website. So if we go, this is a really interesting one, and especially guys, listen up, it's all about women. So we'll talk about that in a second. Now, they looked at the changing complexity of beauty. So 76%, this is good news for spas, believe that the right beauty products make us look younger. So if you then put those together with communicate benefits, organic and anti-aging, you might have a winner, because the next point is that in China, Brazil, and the developing country, they are not tied to a beauty product brand. They change brands as often as 3 times per year, depending on how you communicate. In Europe and developed countries, that's 25% that change beauty regimen, but it's increasing every year. So people are changing products much more often. So it's a big challenge to be a skincare company. If we go into the rise of the whole beauty, this is excellent for us in spas. We have that, the outer beauty, we all know that, what you can do to help to look beautiful from the outside, but it's the inside, and that's divided in 2 parts. One part is the wellness aspect, where you're sleeping well, you're drinking water every day, and you're healthy, and you're working out, so that's kind of the physical wellness. But then the other point is really interesting. It's when you believe, when you mentally think that you're beautiful. You might not need to have that physical beauty and appearance, but if you believe that you're beautiful, we all know, we've seen it before, like Osceola McCarthy and others, they're just beautiful, they're gorgeous. So that's really important. That's also that mental aspect of being beautiful inside, in your mind, which is so important. Now, this one is, some say it's scary, but I actually think it's quite nice. 70% believes being beautiful, and remember, that's a mental, that's a confidence, it means that you get what you want in life. Now, even more interesting is that, and this is only, this is only women. So they've done a worldwide research on women. And guys, listen up here, 70% of the women thinks that beauty equals happiness. So guys, if you make your woman feel beautiful, we're not that complicated. You know what you're going to do when you go home today. We look at the next one, reality meets fantasies. We like celebrity. The guest likes, or the clients like celebrity. They want them to be, the pictures to be photoshopped, but not too much. They want kind of the reality meets fantasy. So they want them to look real, but not too real, but somewhere in the middle. And if you look at the in-shop experience, we all know this, the guests want to touch and feel. So if you're still having one of those few spa that still has retail behind glass door, you're not doing a good job. Now, the second point is something that I see we can improve in the spa industry, is the shop communication. If you look at these fantastic shops, really successful out there, they're fantastically good at being able to communicate where everything is. You can see that's where the skincare, that's where the makeup is, and you immediately find it. We're not that good at that in the spa industry, so I think one thing that we should really work on is the shop communication. Easy to find, simplify it for the guest, and of course, beautifully displayed, which we're actually quite good at. Next research, something completely different. It's Savannah Living, and if you're one of those that like statistics, this is just power-packed. This is US only research, and it's for the 45 and 65 years olds. And not surprisingly, 91% thinks they're not experiencing that good times. We all know that. And we also know that wellness and obesity and massage is something for them. What I thought was quite interesting with this research is that 92%, it's a very, very high percentage, prefer less toxic construction materials. So really interested in what we're doing also in spas. So to see how are we constructed our spas, but also what are we using for towels and all that organic. They are interested in this, and this is our target group. That's all we're going to see, because you can just download it, and it's just page after page with statistics. Now, this is my passion, along with many of yours. We did this year with SRI a research of the spa management workforce and education addressing the market gaps. And guys, there are huge gaps. We're all in this room responsible for bridging those gaps. So that's why I want to bring this up, because it's something that's dear at heart to me and many other people sitting in this room that's contributed the last couple of months after this research came out. So what has it shown? Well, basically, the educational institutes are not educating the managers we want to hire. We rather hire therapists that has come up through the ranks. The spa managers today, they need mentoring. They need help for advice from you all here and everyone else that has been in the industry for a while. They need to do internship, so when there are students. And another thing that we all are part of is that the industry is not training the managers enough. This comes, and the study looked at both from the spa manager point of view and the GMs, if it was GM or the owner's point of view, is that they don't have the right tools to do their job successfully. So what are we doing about it after this? Well, we're actually started quite a few initiatives. One of them is accreditation. Anna McIlheney from ISPA, which I think you all probably here know, she's heading up this task force, and we've had some really good meetings and communication trying to do a spa management accreditation that can help, that you can say, this is what you need to do to become a successful manager, this is what you need to learn. And I think this is crucial, and we can also bridge that with the educational institutes to tell them this is what you need to teach, so we can have accredited spa managers. Sounds good, huh? Yes, it's worth an applaud because that's great. And then we've also done an industry advisory committee. And this committee's task is to bridge that gap, to drive the communication between the industries and the universities and educational institutes. And we have some pretty powerful people in this group. I'm heading it up, but we have, like, for instance, Jeremy McCarthy from Starwood, Anne McCall-Wilson from Fairmont, Andrew Gibson from Mandarin Oriental, Elaine Fernand from Strategy, Laurie Hutchinson. So there's Jennifer Hack from Rosewood. There's some really great people in there which can help us to really bridge that gap that we have. And what are we doing? We've created a task force which we have, for instance, Neil Jacobs, Jeremy McCarthy, Laurie Hutchinson doing with Career Path. So we can tell spa managers, this is your career path, so we can motivate people to actually go into spa management schools. But it's also for spa management schools to educate, this is your way that you can develop so you don't stop being a spa manager. We're also looking at internship recommendations. All of you here in this room that has businesses that can have internship, we need to provide internship, and we're going to put together again a task force and some recommendations on what you need. So as you can see, I'm really passionate about this, but if we want to develop this industry, we need to develop our leaders, and we've just started to do this, and I hope that by the next Global Spa and Wellness Summit that's in India next year, that we've taken at least some baby steps, but hopefully a bit more, and we're working hard on it. But it is a bit like herding cats because there's a lot of powers in there as well. But so that's one thing. Now, to my little surprise for today, you all know Susie Ellis and her trends that we're all eagerly awaiting every year in December. Well, I've managed to be a PI and get one of them just as a sneak preview for you here for this year, which is great. And this is also very ties in with everything that we've talked about today. And it is the Healthy Hotel Wellness Focused Traveler. Now behind here you say Even Hotels. It's an intercontinental initiative. It's a premium hotel brand that's all about wellness. The whole hotel brand is about wellness. It's about making the guest eat well, sleep well, train well, and be well in their hotel. Nothing else, no experiences. And this is something that we're seeing, that we're changing. We're redrawing actually how the traveler is thinking. The concepts of vacation and business traveling is changing because it's not all about experience in a hotel, it's also about wellness, of being well, of someone taking care, being able to eat. And we are seeing that hotels are even looking at weight management program, because what other better place to take care of your weight when you have a restaurant being able to do that for you with a loyal guest. So it's really, really interesting this, and we're just seeing the tips of it. And some of the tips are Westin Workout, doing some really interesting stuff there with both in-room amenities. We have Even Hotels that we just saw. Fairmont Fit is another initiative where they provide workout gear if you want to when you come, and some other perks. And you also have the MGM Grand New Stay Well room with 16 health amenities. There's like baby steps, some tidbits, but we're going to see a big change. So in a couple of years, and you're going to hear hotel chains, big hotel chains communicate that we care about our guest wellness instead of come here and have a great experience. So that's really, again, tying into spa, and it's also not only confining spa to the four walls within the hotel, but it's actually everywhere in the hotel. So there's a great opportunity there for us as a spa business. Now you know that the rest of the 9 trends, so now you know one, and you can talk about that if you like, is coming in December, and we're all eagerly waiting them from Susie because they do determine our future. Now I want to end with a very wise quote. Abraham Lincoln, very wise guy, he said, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would use 6 hours to sharpen the axe. Now most of us often start chopping straight away, and then 4 hours we're tired and only 1/3 of the way there. Now I urge you, and my advice to you is to sharpen that axe. Stay on top of the research, know the facts and figures so you can take really great and strategic decisions. And I hope that each one of you have something from this presentation that you can go home and sharpen your axe for your spa. So thank you very much.